What's up? What's up? Welcome back. Talking Nutrition, episode 33. I think AI is taking over the world, Kristine.
Oh, gosh. It's really scary.
I definitely went down a rabbit hole.
That thing I saw with Elon Musk, and he was going like, it was like Joe Biden's voice, and it was like all these voices, and he's just talking in their voice. I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah.
It's scary. Also, there was another really, really bad thing that happened. We're starting this podcast off on a negative note. There's a really
Let's
bad.
Get into it. Let's go.
Yeah, there's a bad thing that happened to this girl where someone took her face and put it on a naked body and like made porn out of it, and it's not her. And that's the kind of crap with this AI stuff. And then, I mean, the whole voice thing, you can literally just you can say whatever you want and everyone will think it's that person.
Yeah.
And how do you prove it's not?
Yeah, I know. Like I said, like when you texted me, I was like, yeah, it's definitely going to backfire on this.
And another thing too is like, so that anyone who doesn't know, there's like this chat GPT. And you can ask it anything. And I was shocked at the answers. Just so clear cut, precise, like factual, just so good at answering these questions. And then I was like, what if I asked this question a second time and it spit out a totally different answer, but like totally right. Everything was accurate. And I'm like, holy crap. I can't imagine like people, my head went straight to, okay, this can give people a false sense of knowledge, right? Where like they're posting this on their Instagrams or whatever, and they know nothing about that topic, but they can sound so smart, and it sounds and looks like they are super knowledgeable in that whatever they're talking about. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is bad. Or like kids in school, like they could just go to this chat GPT and it just writes the whole thing for them.
Basically. I mean, yes and no. So I definitely, like I said, I went down a rabbit hole. I wanted to look into how much of this we can use, right? So this shit is not going to go anywhere. It's here to stay, you know? No.
Yeah.
So we're going to see the world literally change over the course of the next couple of years. I mean, that's going to happen anyway.
I mean, there's a lot of things that are changing our world right now.
Yeah. But technology-wise, that shit's going to change a whole lot. A lot. So we'll see how this goes. But like, in terms of like AI and copywriting and all that kind of stuff, because I'm already seeing ads right now, like, buy these, pay me and, get these like 1,000 prompts for ChatGPT, whatever. There's a bunch of other ones. Like there's Jasper, which is a copywriting one. There's like virtual assistants. Like there's a whole bunch. And there's a lot of cool stuff too, But it's not perfect still. And things like Google and, schools, because for example, 2 weeks ago, I think this was, this girl in Norway used ChatGPT for like an essay or something and got into trouble for it.
Oh, they found out?
They can find out. There's you should look this up. There's like checkers online and you can basically paste the text. Yeah. And they'll somehow be able to, they're able to kind of like see if it's AI
that's good then.
So, and also Google, by the way. So Google doesn't like ranking the AI shit, which is good.
Okay.
So I think there's going to be a lot of people now using AI to think, oh, now I'm a great copywriter. I'm just going to write me a 500-word blog about,
right,
whatever nutrition topic, and it spits it out for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of information is great, by the way. Like it's
really
very
good. It's very, very, very good information.
And you can say, hey, like write me an outline for like an hour-long podcast where we interview, this person about this topic, and it'll come with a full outline and everything.
Crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. And then you can say, hey, now I want 5 Instagram posts, right? Give me a couple hashtags that are high volume but easy to rank for, those kind of things.
Well, yeah. So, when I entered, so the other day I was like, let's see what it does with this. I said, write me a caption for the importance of sleep, like an Instagram caption. And it wrote me this big thing. And then with the hashtags and everything. And then I redid it. I asked the same question again, totally different. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is scary.
I know we didn't plan on talking about this stuff, but I think it's very interesting. Mm-hmm. But here, like, a lot of stuff is definitely, like, in a way, a little worrying, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We can't deny that it's going to change a lot and that it's going to, be there. And I think it's the same shit as with TikTok or something. People are like, oh no, Instagram is going to stay the main platform. Like, sure, we can hate on TikTok. I don't like it either.
Yeah.
But reality is, most people are there right now. The vast majority of the people,
Yeah.
And it's the same with, when they went from radio to TV, people were also like, oh, I don't know about this TV thing. Well, guess what? It took over,
Right.
So we'll see. We're just in the next stage of access to information, which I do think can be a good thing if we use it the right way.
Yeah, totally.
What it's going to do for the coaching space, we'll see.
I don't know.
I've definitely messed around with writing training programs and stuff, and it spits out a lot of good stuff.
Are you serious?
You have to be very specific. But the better you can write those prompts, the better it's going to do. And it's able to access a whole lot of information and a lot of books and a lot of research and all that stuff. So it's wild.
Oh my gosh.
So we're going to have to figure out how to use this stuff. But anyway, for now, we're still humans. Like, maybe next year, it's not even us talking anymore.
Promise you guys that my Instagram captions are not from an AI system.
No, that's the thing. So I don't think it should really, or at least the way I use it, I like to get ideas for like outlines and shit,
Mm-hmm.
Improving presentation outline, those kind of things. But like, really like plugging it into ChatGPT and then like pasting it on your Instagram, I think
it doesn't sound like you.
No, that's the thing. It's not going to work,
Yeah, you'll be able
I think
to tell.
A lot of people will start to do that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do you think? Q&A today?
Yep.
Or just AI stuff?
I mean, we could go down a real deep rabbit hole with a lot of that stuff. Anyways, question 1. Okay. From Elise. Another cool discussion is how you would help athletes who play sports with their own body weight, like gymnastics, pole dancing, climbers, with their nutrition. Many of them are quite demanding sports and need a huge amount of energy, but still need to watch their weight, as gaining weight can affect their sports performance. So I think we've talked about this before, like just with nutrition periodization, right? So, I mean, it depends on the individual where they're currently at, right? But say they did have some body fat to lose, again, I would probably go in terms of periodization. So we're talking like a maintenance phase, a fat loss phase, reverse diet, etc. So if it was actually impacting their sport, because sometimes people have higher body fat, even with body weight sports, and they do quite well. So if they find it is impacting their sport, but the sport is demanding, we want to again manage the stress, right? So I would do a shorter, more aggressive cut for less time in the cut, adjust training as needed for that time, and then probably spend the majority of the time at maintenance.
Yeah, I think so too. I think a lot of times with these kind of things, when it's performance, whether it's CrossFit, which, is partly influenced by body weight and stuff too, or in this case, like pole dancing and stuff, like you kind of want to make sure that at least like you're not always pushing that, just the stress side of things,
Yeah.
Because this is where I see, at least with CrossFit, a lot of people kind of go into, which you have experience with. It's always like go hard, like the periodization is let's train as hard as we fucking can.
Yeah.
For as long as we can, and the more the better,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's not a lot of seasons where you actually rest and recover, where you train a little bit less, So I think also with, working with a coach here would be great, because then you can actually get that objective
Yes.
view from someone else who can say, hey, you know what? We've been going hard for a while. Let's take a break. Let's plan your phases, right? When do we need to do a cut? Because I think a lot of times we're thinking, hey, I want to build muscle, I want to lose fat, I want to perform, I want to do it all at once. That's just not going to work. And what happens is we kind of want to achieve all three, but we're kind of not achieving all three,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where
long-term planning.
That's where nutrition, that's where the periodization comes into play. Right. So we again look ahead. But she's asking this question, who play sports with their own body weight. So she's kind of asking like in terms of like managing the demanding sport, and then still need to watch your weight. So you get to the point where you feel good body weight wise, so you could do the cut, right? But then most of the time you're going to want to spend at maintenance. And even so, like potentially in a little bit of a surplus where there's no real like fat gain happening there.
Yeah. In a controlled way.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Because I think a lot of people, even if they do get into a surplus, it's usually a little too much, or at least uncontrolled or something,
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't need to be a big surplus at all, because that way you're getting the energy you need, but you're still maintaining body weight.
What I think too is being within like striking distance, if that makes sense, like maintaining at a point where, hey, if I want to do a cut, it's just going to be like a couple kilos.
Yeah. 100%. Right? Yeah.
So that you can get away with a quick one. Yeah. If you even have to. Yeah.
Because you don't, remembering too, like, yeah, they're in a body weight sport, but they also still very demanding, and you don't want to be too low in body fat, because that will affect performance. So you have to kind of find this sweet spot where you feel best, but you're also not under fueling.
Yes.
And so it's hard, again, like it's hard for us to say exactly what to do because it's so person dependent.
All right. Question 2 from Alvaro. Long one. So I just turned 38 years of age about 2 weeks ago. And I know this is like probably 2 months ago. I'm a little late with this question, so a little longer. Anyway, my wife turned 34 about 2 months ago. We just had our second girl almost a week ago. So a lot of new stuff, a lot of exciting stuff. Let's see, I'll try to keep this shorter. So we both have full-time jobs. We both have experience in exercises and functional fitness, but somehow we can't stay consistent with our nutrition. And we love eating healthy. But after long hours at work and then a 3-year-old, we give into disgustingly delicious heavy foods. What habits, what practices, and what do you think or recommend we should start to prepare us and kick off a better year of good nutrition, fitness, and break bad habits of disgusting, delicious, inflammation-causing foods? Okay, it's a mouthful. A couple things to unpack here. Now, it sounds like you're already kind of into like the healthy eating, which is a good thing. Obviously, you know about exercise, so honestly, you got a lot covered already. So what we want to do is just kind of like figure out, okay, that giving into those foods that you mentioned. Let's look into that, right? So here's the thing. So when we're super busy, and I get this all the time, and I don't want to say that people are using it as an excuse, but they are using it as a reason to be like, hey, I'd like to do this, but I'm busy, so I can't. Or people get the idea that it's not possible. but you can. It's all about planning and then being proactive and making sure that, hey, like, even though I'm busy, even though I have less time, even though I have a lot of shit to do, I'm still going to make it work. And that does take a little bit of sitting down and planning and like preparing for stuff, you know? So I think we talked about this last episode too, like being proactive, you know. In that case, we were talking about tracking and stuff. Here too, be proactive with your schedule, right? Your week, your day. Like, what does it look like? Do we need to plan a meal prep? Sure, meal prepping in the moment costs a little bit of time. Of course, you have to cook the food and stuff. But then we can save, 3-4 times the cooking during the week. Hey, if meal prep is still not an option, that's cool. Can we maybe use a meal prep service, which in the US is a little bit more accessible compared to here? I think we have one here, but it adds up, So also there, it's really about like sitting down and looking for those options and the solutions, I think. And just making sure that, hey, when that day comes, when you come home and you've had a long day at work, you don't have a lot of time to cook, whatever, that there's something right there waiting for you. Whether that's stuff in the fridge, whether that's a prep meal, whether that's something that's ordered, just not leaving it up to, just chance, basically. Because we all know what happens. After a long day, you're hungry. We now have to make a decision. Well, what's going to be? Something quick.
Mm-hmm. I think what I have to add, oh man, it's snowing out. Something I have to add here is reevaluating expectations. Okay. Because you're in a totally different season of your life, and you realistically, you can't expect everything to look the same as it did when you didn't have a little one, right? This is a huge change. You're sleep deprived. There's a lot going on in this season of your life. So to expect that you're going to have your food in order, you're gonna be working out, all of that the same as you were when you didn't have a little one is unrealistic. And I think if we have those expectations, you will let yourself down. And then that's when we kind of fall into like the all or nothing mentality, right? Or like, I'm screwing up, I'm just gonna, keep going and blah, blah, blah. So really taking a look at, expectations, for this season of your life. And, I think, say like for what he had mentioned in terms of like meal prepping. Okay. So say your meal prepping before looked like, you were making huge batches of stuff and you had it all ready to go and is there. Okay. Maybe it's just like you take 15 minutes and prep a little bit of protein for like 1 to 2 days. Right. So like you're again, it doesn't have to be this huge extravagant thing, but you're also not doing nothing, right? You're meeting yourself in the middle there. And to like, just, when you're having a busy day and you have this feeling of, like, what did he say? We give into the disgustingly delicious heavy foods. It's like, okay, maybe we didn't have anything prepared. Okay, we're going to go eat out. Let's take a second and think about where could we go to get maybe a healthier option. We're still going to eat out because we're tired. We don't feel like cooking today, but can we choose a better option, right? And almost anywhere there's going to be better options, right? Like there's going to be healthier options. You can really eat healthy anywhere at this point. So just kind of taking that time and sitting with that, and deciding where you want to go, that you can make a better option, or you can pick a better option. Like I had a client, she's a past client. She reached out to me the other day. She had a baby, recently had a baby. And her husband he has cancer and he's going through chemo. And it's just like, so much is going on with her right now. And I want to read this because I think it relates to this. So she said, my nutrition, okay. So she goes, informal check-in. Was thinking about you today, laugh out loud, not going to lie. My nutrition and fitness has taken a back seat these past few months, but I have given myself grace under the circumstances and allowed for this time in my life. However, the baby is getting more on schedule and we have finally moved. So I have access to a gym at home. Classes weren't really realistic with the baby alone when Sam has been sick. So she's not pushing herself to like go to the gym. She's now meeting herself in the middle and doing some stuff at home. She said, and even though I know we aren't working together for right now, everything you taught me has helped me so much. I started a new low step goal. Again, didn't want to be unrealistic. So she normally would be at like 10K steps. So she's probably at, setting like 5, right? So she's meeting herself in the middle. She's like, I'm prioritizing water and protein starting this week. So
Great.
She's just focusing on protein. She's just focusing on water, like these minimal things that over time are going to start to add up, right? But that's all she has the capacity to focus on right now. And they're attainable for her. And so when they're attainable, you're going to start to create momentum there and it'll be like a cascade and things will just start to like improve as time goes on. Right. And she said, making small goals already has me feeling so good because I'm actually hitting them. Without you, I would be sticking to my all or nothing and be trying to cut out all fast food, work out 5 times a week and hit perfect macros, and would be beating myself up because there's no way I can jump back into all of that in a matter of days. So I think that's really relatable to this situation. This situation, when having a child, is so incredibly hard. So it's really just figuring out realistic expectations for yourself, and figuring out things that are actually attainable for you. And then something that I love, like some of my clients do this, I do it. You ask yourself a moment. So again, you're creating space, you're creating time to make decisions, right? You're not just kind of emotionally making a decision that you don't feel well with later on, right? So it's the ideal self versus real self, right? So like real self is who you are, in this moment, and your ideal self is who you eventually want to become. And so you take a moment, you say, what would my ideal self do in this moment? What would my ideal self choose in this moment? And that can be really, really helpful in situations like that. So it is my ideal self would, okay, I don't have food prep, so I'm going to go eat out, but I'm going to choose, a healthier option. Meeting yourself in the middle. Like eating out doesn't have to be like this kind of free for all thing, right? So yeah. I know that was kind of long-winded, but
no, I love that.
I think expectations are just so important in different seasons of your life.
But also allowing yourself to get clear on that, because I think that's maybe just even the biggest part. Like it's just like not getting to that point. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of like, oh, I'm supposed to do these things because I want to be healthy, whatever. But there's, we always talk about all or nothing, right? Good foods, bad foods, whatever. Like it's not just a good food choice or a bad one. Like we can also make better food choices.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Right? I talked to a client last week and he had a seminar. He's being a little too hard on himself. He's probably listening too. So here we go. No, I'm kidding. But so there's a lot of new stuff, he got a new job, went to this week seminar thing, learning a lot of new stuff. Like his days are completely just flipped right now. Everything is different. We went from being at home, being able to track everything, meal prepping, all those great things, to stay on track, to a week at a hotel breakfast, eating out, different places, never been there before, not being able to go to the gym. So then it's very common, I feel like, to go like, oh, fuck, I had a terrible week because I couldn't do what I usually do. but we can still look and take a moment and be like, hey, for that breakfast at the hotel, what can I get? I'm aware of like which foods are going to give me the protein, carbs, fats, fiber, whatever. What can I get for that breakfast? Where am I right now? Like, what spots are around me? Can I just find a place that allows me to make like the better decision? Right?
Yeah.
Can I get some stuff at the supermarket? Whatever. Can I maybe get some steps in? But just do the thing that is good enough in those
100%.
cases.
What's second best? Like that's something my dad actually always does that to me. He's like, what's second best? What's second best to this? You can't do whatever. Okay. What's the next best thing?
Yeah. And he also mentioned, same guy, a couple of weeks before that, he's like, I went to McDonald's, I ate so much shit. It's like, well, it's fine. You can go there every now and then. First of all, you haven't been there a month, if not over a year. So it's already okay. But second, even at that spot, you can find something. You can get, and even then, by the way, get the fucking burger if it's once every couple of months. But like, even if at that moment you do want to make the better decision, go with like a Diet Coke instead of the regular, go with like the salad and maybe like the McChicken or whatever. It's still a better option.
Yep. 100%.
So that, like, bringing it back to this question, it's, again, to kind of recap everything that you said was amazing. Like, just being really clear on, hey, like, in this moment, what's going to be realistic for me? What can I do? And how can I still make the better decision without beating myself up about things not being perfect? Because guess what? Eventually, you're going to get more time again, more time, and they're going to be able to pick things up again, if you would like that.
Yeah, for sure. Love that question. I think that was a really good question.
Yeah. Actually, the inflammation stuff. That was also part of the question.
Yeah, he said
we can keep that quick.
He said disgusting, delicious inflammation causing foods. If inflammation causing foods is like like there's no like real one inflammation causing foods. Like if we're eating highly processed foods every single day, all day, then absolutely, yes, they are inflammatory. But if it's like happening here and there, I mean, I just don't like this language because it's like that fear mongering language.
Yeah. But that's the shit that you see on Instagram and TikTok. And that's the stuff that sounds extreme, that's scary,
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, again, I think we really need to step away from like fucking demonizing foods and just, making this specific food or this oil or whatever, making that like the one thing that's going to fuck you up. No,
I literally today built out an example day of eating for one of my clients, and his dinner was Chick-fil-A. Because he loves Chick-fil-A. Like everything else looks good. We've got some good micronutrient dense foods throughout the day. His breakfast looks good. I was like, if you want some freaking Chick-fil-A, have a Chick-fil-A. Like, obviously, we don't want this to be like an all day, every day type of thing. But again, this is the type of stuff that keeps things sustainable, right? Like, what's more inflammatory? You having like little things here and there, or going on massive big binges because we have an unsustainable diet, right? Like, think about it that way. But anyways, okay, last question, because we're running out of time here. Is there any correlation between the time of day and injuries when it comes to working out? I asked this because I saw Kristine's post asking what people prefer. I go nights because I feel looser from having gone through my work day, even though I'm a little tired. But when I work out in the morning, I'm still a little tired. And so is my body from going straight to the gym/run after 7 hours. Am I overthinking this? I'm going to say yes, you are overthinking this.
Yeah.
I literally only posted that just to see like when people are training, because personally, I really like to work out in the morning, because as the day goes on, my my drive and motivation to work out just goes like just so bad across the day. So I'm like, I really like working out in the morning. Like, I feel really good there. Honestly, my answer to this is like, no, like it's not I wouldn't say there's a correlation there. You know, warming up obviously in the morning is going to be an important thing there. But working out whenever you can get it in is most important.
I mean, I will say, like, of course, like if you go about your day, you've been moving around, you're going to feel a little looser. You know?
Yeah. You'll have more blood flow and stuff, but it's not, morning sessions wouldn't increase risk of injury.
No. No.
You just gotta get in a good warm up.
Yeah, get a good warm
Especially
up in. Like, get some food in before the workout too. You know, I know like fasting is really big these days, but like get some food in, like even a little bit.
Yeah,
100%. Just don't, because there's this one guy at the gym. he'll come in and he'll start deadlifting with 200 kilos, like 400 pounds.
Like no warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you're gonna get injured.
That's when you get injured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's a big dude. He can lift really heavy shit. But it's like, don't do that. Like that's what I'm trying to say, you know?
Yeah.
Different guy who I also know, same gym last week, came in, went for like the trap bar, and just started right away.
Oh,
did like one set, and then for the next half hour, I saw him sit on the floor, like trying to stretch his back and then he left. So it's like, if anything, like as long as you kind of prepare for the workout, you know, you're good.
Yeah, get totally.
Warm up in, you know, get the blood flowing, like maybe a little bit of food, you know, some fuel, and you're good.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you and your schedule.
Yep, exactly.
What do you think?
I think that's good. We're at that 30-minute mark.
Yeah, perfect timing. Maybe in the future we can just have AI just answer all questions for us, and we just
yeah,
and then we just record. We don't even have to do anything. We'll just sit here.
Oh my!
We'll just have it so it's gonna make us move for us.
Yeah, at some point it's just gonna, like, our voice, right, and our mouths will move, and we'll end up just being sitting here, and you guys won't even know.
But guess what? That is there is one already out there that does that.
Stop it! Oh, yeah. Like it moves your mouth? No.
So I saw a video of Alex Hormozy, and he basically said, it's on YouTube, you got to check it out. Like he basically said, okay, I asked my team to basically replace themselves with AI and find the tools for that, you know, to see, and they just want to increase productivity. So there's one where you record yourself, and you can be like, let's say it's like a client introduction video where you're like, hey, Kristine, welcome with, you know, okay, nutrition, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Here's your onboarding video. He recorded that once, and then the AI thing kind of like scanned his face and whatever. And then all they did was just like type different names, and it would just generate different videos of him actually saying like, hey, Kristine, hey, Johan. Like, it's crazy. Like that shit is already there, you know?
And it looked like his mouth was moving and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So I'll send you that video. It's crazy. So
that is insanity. Guys, I don't like where this is going. I do not like where this is going.
It's
I don't trust it at all.
No, me neither. You know what the scary thing is too, though, and then we'll wrap it up. But like these kind of like AI, it keeps learning too, right?
Yes,
it's actively learning, and it's getting better and better and better, which is crazy.
It's gonna turn on us.
Who knows? No, but there are people who set the rules for those kind of things, right? For those AIs. So if you go to ChatGPT and you can ask some fucked up stuff, and it's not going to answer you, right? It's not. Yeah,
it's like, and it's biased too.
Also, yeah. I think they tried to hack it recently as well, I think it even got hacked.
Really?
But either way, there are some limits to it, and people are probably going to mess with it too. But I think we're going to see some interesting stuff very soon. So I hope we can keep doing this podcast without being replaced by robots.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Nah.
All right.
We're going to just keep doing this every single week. We'll keep showing up, and we'll promise that it's actually us, not a robot talk. All right. See you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you soon.